from you. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect.
Perfect, Candy. So we're live, and I am here today. It's 5:07. We are doing what we've been doing since August 3rd. Jeanine Cohen and I have been coming on with as I call it, a virtual polling place. We're going to be hearing from Judge Scionti within the hour, and also Greg Green. And I wanted to bring you on, Candy, because I know you have some events planned. One for tomorrow. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me on today, Florida You Judge. We do have our tea and conversation this Saturday over at Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food Restaurant. That's 2302 East 7th Avenue. And actually, this tea and conversation, we have two of our local physicians here in the Tampa Bay area that will be talking about COVID-19. It will be a Q&A session.
That's awesome. Jeanine?
Yeah, no, I was just saying I can't go, and I would love to go. Every Saturday I volunteer for a charity, but I know Lily's going to be there tomorrow, so I'm sure she's going to tell me. And I think Wendy's going to be there tomorrow also, because, you know, given the school board, and I know at 6 o'clock you're having a school board member on, has just delayed going back to school live. I think it's very important to talk about the impact of COVID and what's going on in the community.
And at 6 o'clock, we're gonna have we're gonna have Tammy Schamberger on. Yesterday was a major school board, Hillsborough County School Board decision that was made. You want to talk about that, Candy? I know you're in the loop, Candy, on all of those things.
Well, I actually didn't get a chance to hear actually, I'm seeing what's happening here. My face is not showing.
You're not moving.
You're moving, are you?
No, she's frozen, but we can hear you.
You know what, Candy? This is helpful always. Sometimes when that happens, you just log off, log back on, and you'll come back on. Just use the same link. So, Jeanine, you watched it.
I did watch it. And,
so you want to comment on it?
I do. I think it's absolutely ridiculous for them to do it in 4 weeks. You know what? The semester is 9 weeks. Nobody's going to be happy either way. You're going to disappoint someone. You send them back to school, someone's going to be disappointed. You leave them home for e-learning, someone's going to be disappointed. But to do it mid-semester, that makes no sense. You're going to be disruptive anyway. You're supposed to minimize disruption. So
okay,
I think
talk about that. Talk about that, because there was discussion on that. So there's two.
Right. They didn't. The first person who made the motion for 4 weeks, and then they're going to revisit it. The woman that you're actually bringing on at 6, I think, wanted to do 9 weeks, which is the semester. And then during that time, you can talk about it. Looking at this as a parent of a second grader who, you know, I don't know. My husband and my pediatrician say if school's open, she goes back, right? I don't want my kid to die because she's socially isolated. I don't want to send her back and, you know, potentially die. But then, you know, I get the social isolation as well. Listen,
okay, tell me about social isolation. A child die because of social isolation?
No. Social isolation is what's happening with these children at home. Yes. They're getting depressed. They're not seeing their friends. Yes. I don't want to send her back to potentially get COVID, or as my daughter says, get the Rona, and she ultimately possibly die. There have been children who died, and you know, I don't care if it's less than 10% or 1%. A percentage means children die. It's not accepted.
You know what? I want to stay on that point, because some people look at it, it's a numbers thing, and they think, oh, it's only 1%, thinking my odds are gonna be great that I'm not that 1%. What about the people that fall within that 1% that die? Do they not matter?
No, or the teachers, or the grandparents that are taking care of these children, because, you know, all these kids, I like to call my kid and all her friends carrier monkeys, especially when they're really young and they're all passing it among each other. but we have to address, and I thought they did scrambling at the last minute. And again, I live in Pasco, so I thought Pasco did a really good job. I heard some things about Hillsborough. I didn't personally see Hillsborough, but getting food and supplies to the children, because you got to remember, school is a big deal, not just for education, but it's one where some children get 2 meals a day, as well as getting other needs met because their parents are working. My bigger fear, obviously, with all of this, and I don't know what the right answer is. I'm going to say that right out. I can just talk to you about my fears as a parent. Listen, I'm not in danger of my house being foreclosed on when the foreclosures lift. There are a lot of people that are going to suffer if the moratorium lifts on foreclosures and evictions. We have a lot, I care about the pets and the animals. I'm always talking about that because I run an animal rescue. But the truth is we have people's children, and if they're forced because of the good of the community to not send their kids to school because we're keeping the kids home for the first semester, we got to do something to help these parents that otherwise can't afford daycare or someone to take care of their children for them to work.
So what could we think of that could be done for those people? Because that seems to be the two camps that are in disagreement. Or some that would say, you know what, I wish I can do the e-learning, but I have to go to work. Who do I keep my child with while they're e-learning? So what could be done, do you think? Candy, talk about, you're a mother, but your children are grown, but you're a grandmother. And that's something that you're concerned about.
Absolutely, I'm concerned about it. My grandson, he's only 3 years old, but I cannot imagine him going to kindergarten or pre-K at this point and not knowing what the plan is. It is amazing to me that all summer long, no one has come up with a plan. Since March, we don't have a plan since March. School was supposed to start back, and Addison Davis, we have no plan. It is just behooves me that no one has been thinking about this. And I'm frightened. I'm absolutely frightened. I know several teachers, also our school board member, that have experienced COVID-19, and we're wanting children to go back. I have friends that work for insurance companies, and their companies decided that they will take the rest of the year and stay home, work from home. I don't know. I don't have the answer to how we will teach our children at home while their parents are at home and they're working, what that structure looked like. But I think that we've had several months to have gotten a plan for this. And it just sounds like we're at ground zero.
Right. And Jeanine, seriously, e-learning I'm imagining that's something that they're going to get instruction from not the parent or the guardian. It's from the teachers, the school itself. The only thing, and some people may be able to afford working remotely, right? I could work remotely now. Listen, I have a child that's like a son to me, my nephew. So this has been weighing on my mind. It stresses me out. I'm trying to assist in the brainstorming of that. He's not in Hillsborough. He's in another county in Florida, but it's something that's very important to me too. And what about the parents that I'm sympathetic that they can't, they have to work. They don't have the luxury of working remotely. What can be done? Should the state, should the county come up, devise, like Candy says, why do you wait till now to start figuring out what needs to be done? Because look, I don't care if it's 1% or a child is a child. And if one child could be spared of something happening to them, we need to do it. Am I right or wrong on that?
No, you are. But here's the thing. So the fourth quarter of last year, right? We all got sent home really quick. They shut down. The teachers did an amazing job going on absolutely nothing. Was it hard? Yes. Did I teach first grade the fourth quarter to a 6-year-old with ADHD while trying to practice law every freaking day? Absolutely. Did we survive? Yes. Do I want to do it again? No. They're supposed to. Now, the last quarter, what they did in Pasco, at least, and I suspect they did the same thing in Hillsborough, they put our assignments up. So we could do our assignments around working. You could do them on the weekends. You could do them in the evenings. I don't know what the ratio is in Hillsborough, but 30% of Pasco kids never once signed on for the entire fourth quarter. They passed everybody. Everybody got promoted. So these kids are already coming in 30%, one quarter behind, which I think is terrible. I think they should have been left back, because if you could do it nights and weekends, at some point, someone in your life should be able to help you with this. And if not, they could have asked for help. 30% just said, we're done with school for the year. I don't know what the stats are in Hillsborough. My understanding of what they're talking about with e-learning is going to be different than what we got stuck with in the fourth quarter. To me, having to put my now 7-year-old in front of a computer from 9 to 3 or 9 to 2 to zoom into the class, that's a lot more difficult, because I'm not flexible then on my time or doing my work around it. It's the school day during school hours.
Right,
and
remotely, right?
Remotely, and I think that's what, and we have to ask your school board member who's coming on at 6 if that's what they're anticipating. Because that's actually, even though, listen, it wasn't easy on anybody. It wasn't easy on the teachers. They're teaching from home while trying to teach their own kids different grades and different levels. You know, the teachers got stuck with their own kids at home also, and they're still trying to do their job. We need to know more about how this e-learning is going to work, because, you know, there are parents who are not going to be in a position from 9 to 3. And you can't, the older ones maybe, but the younger ones, first graders, second graders, third graders, you can't put them in front of a computer and leave them and expect.
I know. Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's why some parents are saying, I got to go to work. I can't do that.
Right. Well, you can't leave them at home anyway. You have to take them somewhere, and they have to have access to the computer. The other problem is not everybody has access to a computer or an iPad. And I don't know, the fourth quarter last year, you could do it on a computer or you could do it on an iPad. And I can tell you, as somebody who taught first grade, I printed everything out so she would have the paper in front of her. Because trying to teach on a computer, you can watch the videos and stuff. But when you're reading and you're learning letters and you're learning to write, you got to have it printed out in front of you.
Understood. Hello?
I was going to say, hopefully, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking when we was talking about the laptops or tablets or whatever the children are going to need, I'm hoping that they are able to reallocate some funds towards getting some of those tablets, computers to the children. I'm not sure if that's something that they have been talking about or not.
Didn't they pass them out for the fourth quarter in the spring?
Correct. Yes.
Did they have enough to go around for everyone who needed?
Well, we've had since then to now, again, in reference to planning. I know that I have been paying attention to the television daily. I've been listening to the physicians on the television daily, running my household accordingly daily. So I'm hoping that they have been doing the same thing.
I would hope so. And honestly, it is disappointing that all the teachers you talk to, the loveliest people in the world, right? They're all like, we don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to be, teaching in class. I'm supposed to be teaching at home. They elected certain things. It's all up in the air, and it's complete lack of planning.
Yes.
I think they were really thinking the virus was just going to go away.
Yes. I've spoke to several teachers as well, also 2 principals, and they have given me the same thing. It seems like from week to week, they've gotten something different from week to week. something different. So, they've been strung along with no plan as well.
I want the kids to be safe. I want the teachers to be safe. Listen, the truth of the matter is we already ruined our economy. We artificially ruined it. We'll bring it back. We need to keep the mortgage moratorium, the eviction moratorium, and the foreclosure moratorium in place. Sorry. And we need to give the extra funds for unemployment. Yeah, I know that ended July 31st. They need to, the U.S. Congress do something. This is a hard time. It's a hard struggle. I know unemployment in Florida is a complete disaster. Thank you, Governor Scott, for what he did to that. But, to me, lives are the most important thing. So I'm going to choose health and safety of the community over the economy every day of the week.
I'm with you on that one.
Right. Yep. But I think Candy's right too. This is a hot mess. And I would sort of feel like it's a disorganization.
So, Candy, what we were saying earlier was they voted for e-learning only for the first 4 weeks. Then they're going to revisit it. But the semester is 9 weeks. To me, it made no sense.
Jeanine.
Yeah.
Well, Jeanine, this is what I thought when I heard 4 weeks. 4 weeks meant to me 9 weeks. They couldn't get it right all along, stringing the teachers along all along. I spoke with 2 teachers on yesterday, including my niece, and I asked her not to worry about it, not to worry about from week to week. Just plan on it being the first 9 weeks.
That's what I thought. And as a matter of fact,
and also, Jeanine and Haiti, listening to the professionals, because I'm not a professional on this, listening to the professionals on it, I'm not sure why they did not have a professional person in the room all along. The school board members aren't professionals on this here. It's not their specialty. Addison Davis, it is not his specialty either. There should have been someone, in my mind, there all along, guiding them every step of the way, and giving them the directions, giving them the numbers, giving them the facts on when we started going up our numbers in Florida. When our numbers were going up in Florida, were they not aware of that? And I'm not taking a chance with my grandson just because they're saying the numbers are low right now for children, but the children are staying home now. The children are home safe. The children are not out on the playground and together with one another. They're not doing that now. So when we open that door for them to all go back into a classroom or out on the playground and doing all of those things, the numbers are going to go up.
And Jeanine.
Yes.
Are we in a second wave? Because there could be another second wave in the fall.
No, this is still the first wave. When our numbers went up, what we did? We opened Disney. I mean, come on.
So honestly, listen, I'm not a professional either, a medical professional, like Candy just said. We don't know, but I do know this, that there could be a second wave in the fall and in the winter, just like in the 1918. There was a second wave, which I believe was worse than the first wave. Are we not factoring in that yesterday during this? I didn't listen. I'm from Pinellas. I'm a Pinellas girl. I'm in the loop with Hillsborough issues and whatnot because I do business out there. Okay, and I care. I don't care about just children that I love and care about. I care about all children. Okay, I care about Candy's grandchild. I care about your child in Pasco, Jeanine. Okay, we should all care about children. So if I know from the beginning of March, when all of us, or those of us who were freaked out about a pandemic just walloping us, I was constantly hearing about information about the pandemic. And I know, so was that even discussed, Jeanine? Did you hear the whole school board meeting or just a portion of, did they take into consideration that there could be a second wave while the children are in the classroom? And then what do we do if there is? And all of a sudden, numbers that are going down start spiking rapidly up. What then?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't agree with numbers are going down. I think it depends on how you section it out. And when you look at that, we stopped testing and we slowed down testing and getting results. I will say this, I did not watch the entire meeting. I don't have that much time. I kept going in and out. And at some point it was like, okay, we get you're running for office, vote already. I even posted that on one of the things. And I think that was part of why they did this only for 4 weeks, is because, you know, we do have some politicians sitting up there on the school board running for other offices, and they just wanted more face time.
Okay.
That, you know,
Candy, do you agree with that, Candy?
About it's political right now, and we're in 4 weeks out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you think it's a little pony, dog and pony, as they say.
Absolutely. I can't imagine a mother that would say yes to sending children back to school. I can't imagine.
And you know what, Candy, thank you for
Yes,
participating.
It's political.
Thank you for listen. Some people think this is a Republican thing, a Democratic thing, and I can tell you that I'm gonna stop doing that, participating in that, commenting on that, because no, it's an issue that either you put a high value on a child's safety or you don't. My mother is super duper Republican, and I asked her today. I broached this issue with her, and I inquired in reference to our dear child, my nephew, her grandchild that we love. That he's my son, and I don't think he should go now. And she said, absolutely not. Not till I am certain that it's safe for him to go back. Am I okay with that? So it's not a Republican and a Democratic thing.
but you understand that there are some people that truly believe COVID-19 is not nearly as deadly as the media is making out.
That could be an intelligence thing. Sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but if you think at this juncture that it's a hoax, that is not a Republican or Democratic thing. That is.
I'm not saying that they're thinking it's a hoax. They're thinking it's overblown.
But there's people that from both parties that have that mindset.
No, absolutely. But they think it's no worse than the virus. And those are the same people who want the schools open and are willing to send their children back. Because they don't think it's serious. They don't think, and I can't remember what the Betsy DeVos, or whatever her name is, quote was concerning the percentage of children that we will lose if we open the school. Just children. It was a very small percentage, but it equals children dying, and she was okay with that. Which is not acceptable to me. But again, I'm not in a position where if I stay home with my daughter or I have my daughter with me, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my house. I'm not going to be able to afford to feed my family. I'm not in that position.
Well, you know what? Then the powers that be should have. What percentage of people are in that situation, and what do we do to try to protect the child's safety?
Well, it's people that, live paycheck to paycheck.
I understand. And what do we do for them? What do we do for them?
Well, we need government aid, but of course the little government aid we had got shut down July 31st to help people, and that's unemployment. Once everything starts opening back up, if you don't go back to work, you lose your unemployment. They don't want to hear that you don't have a place for your children. I don't know that we can fix this so quickly in this democracy.
Okay, so
and
we're gonna
two divided camps.
We're gonna hear from Tammy Schamberger at 6, and we have a community activist Angel, who's also gonna come on to discuss it. I know you're gonna stick around for another 15 minutes, and you want to talk about something related to the current candidates. Go ahead and stump
Sure.
for Wendy DePaul.
I always
You listen. You're taking advantage of it. Everybody's been given an opportunity to jump on and talk about their
So
candidates. So
today,
go.
I was at the Bloomingdale Library, and then some of our friends were out at Plant City, and Wendy was at Platt. But the rescue, we're all involved in rescue. The rescue saved 3 dogs and a bunch of kittens today. And there's a picture on my Facebook page. I don't know if you saw it, Haiti, where, some people are wearing Wendy for Judge shirts, some people are wearing Rescue Cats of Florida shirts. And we got a picture of all of us with the puppies and some of the kittens that were saved today. It's on my Facebook page.
I didn't see it. I'll see it now.
Yeah, it's adorable. But
So tell us why Wendy DePaul should be judge.
I mean, besides the fact that she has 24 years experience as an attorney, here's what's fascinating about Wendy. Wendy became a CPA while we became attorneys. And if you remember your first year of law school and taking that first year of law school exams, and for anybody who goes from college to law school, you're there the whole semester. You don't know what's going on, and you have one test, and that entire test is your entire grade. And it many years ago, but it's still fresh in my mind how scary it was. Wendy actually had law school exams shifted, and she sat for her CPA in the middle of first year law school exams, and she crushed it. This is a woman who, I think that goes to her dedication. When she sets her mind to do something, she's gonna do it. She's just a wonderful person who will absolutely listen to both sides. I have no doubt, given how I've seen her talk to a variety of people. She treats everybody with respect. She is kind. She has one of the greatest rules that I've never been able to abide by. Wendy has a 24-hour rule. If you send her a crappy email, she'll write you a hot response, but she never hits send for 24 hours. She always, and I am like the little devil on her shoulder because I'll help her draft some emails and I'm going, send it, send. And she absolutely will not. 24 hours, it's the rule. I know better.
I don't need the little devil. I need a little angel.
Right, because you hit send. I hit send. Wendy never hit send. Wendy hits save draft.
So going.
Hey Wendy, are your ears burning?
No.
Oh, I'm on right now with Haiti talking about you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. And
I was just talking about your 24-hour rule that you won't send hot emails no matter how much I beg.
That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Why don't you jump on, Wendy? You want the link to jump on? Where are you?
Yeah. Wendy, take the link. Can you send it to her?
Can you send it to her? Send it to her phone.
You sent me? All right, Wendy,
Yep.
I'm going to send it to you in Messenger and you can just get on your phone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, let her come on, and I'm getting the picture now.
Well, yeah, you know what's really funny because you had Candy on. Candy endorsed Wendy.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
And you had the two of them on together, and they didn't mention it. And I'm sitting there going, I know that she endorsed Wendy.
Yeah. So at 6, Tammy Schamberger's going to come on. That's going to be a good discussion, and we're going to show a clip of her addressing the board, the public, on what would be her vote on the issue.
Absolutely.
So you watched that. She did good. She hit it out of the park.
Yeah. All right, there's the picture. So you got rescue. Was that the cutest puppies? The one that Wendy's holding and the girl in front of her?
Now, did you send her the link? Did you send Wendy the link?
I sent her the link.
Okay, so yeah, there's the picture.
And Yeah. So there's rescue cats volunteers and Wendy, everybody's friends with Wendy anyway. Because she does volunteer a lot and they all know her from from the Animal Advisory Committee. So, each polling place has different rules about how you can behave while you're there. And Plant City Library is very serious about don't leave your signs, don't put them in our yard. The lady comes out and picks them all up. So you got to pull your signs out of the ground really quick. I haven't been out there yet, but this is what I'm hearing the feedback from.
Hi, look at that. Look at her. Hey, Wendy DePaul.
Hello, everybody. I'm wearing my seatbelt. Safety first.
There you go. Good job. I always wear my seatbelt, always.
You have to. You
But,
have to.
you are blessed, Wendy. Very blessed.
Yes.
Jeanine, wow, what a friend.
I am. I know I am. Oh, is that why? Because I have Jeanine. Yeah, Jeanine and I have been around a long time, and we met by complete chance. We were in law school. Did you tell him we were in law school together? And I was rooming with a woman that lived close by. That's how I was living, and she was getting married and got pregnant. And so I was in the nursery, so I had to move into the dorms on campus, and we just ended up being suite mates. And that's how Jeanine and I met. And how long? So that was in 1995. So we've been together longer than our marriages.
I say that all the time, but you were at my wedding.
Yeah.
Thank God you were there. You kept my husband together.
Okay,
Yep.
so Wendy, we're gonna give you a couple of minutes to go address the voters because shortly I just got a text from Judge Scionti. He's gonna be coming on. So I've opened this platform during the pandemic to allow candidates who are a little bit more restricted because everybody's being conscious about the keeping down and avoiding COVID transmission. So this is America, the land that I love, the land that my parents fled from tyranny to this wonderful land of freedom and the ability to go vote where me and Jeanine have this week been talking about people who have died, gone on hunger strikes, gone to prison, been beaten, killed, and we get to vote. So anything that I can do to energize voters, to give a platform for all candidates to address voters, I'm all over that. So go.
Okay.
Why should people vote for you?
Why should people go for me? Well, I'm qualified. I have a good demeanor. I care about the community. I think the biggest things are temperament and the fact that I'm involved in the community. I'm practicing law for 23 years. I've been a CPA for 23. And I've got qualifications. I've got experience and all that. But really, the things that are the most important, I think, are the community service and demeanor. Because community service, I think, is important because you have to be connected with the community if you're going to be on the bench. You can't make rulings in a bubble. You have to know what's going on in the community. And I think demeanor is really important because, as I always tell people, it's not always what you say, it's how you said it. You have to make sure that when you're conducting your courtroom, that people feel comfortable. Because a lot of times you're dealing with pro se's, people without an attorney, and they, if you're intimidating and you're calling them out and yelling at people, they're going to get scared and they're not going to say what they need to say, and they didn't really get their day in court because the judge didn't behave appropriately. So I think that's really important.
You love animals. You love animals.
I'm very involved in animal rescue. I'm the chair this year of the Animal Advisory Committee. It's my second time. I've been the vice chair, and I've been on the committee, I think, 5 or 6 years now. That's under the Board of County Commissioners. I'm a child care licensing hearing officer, so I actually conduct hearings for people who are trying to get their licenses back to be a daycare, or if they've been denied, they're trying to appeal. So I conduct those hearings. It's sort of almost a magistrate position. I write proposed orders or recommended orders. I'm on the board of directors of Bay Area Legal Services, which is a nonprofit law firm. But and people sit on boards all the time. You're always finding attorneys sitting on boards. But I think the difference with me is I didn't start on the board. I started as a volunteer, and I was volunteering so much, I might as well be on the board. So I've actually been on the board, I think, 8 years, but I've been a volunteer for over 10. I've done every volunteer thing they've got over there. I've helped people with domestic violence injunctions, family law forms. I've taken cases. I've helped with intake. And I also helped create the bankruptcy form clinic with the Tampa Bay Bankruptcy Bar. I'm on the community outreach committee. I'm one of the co-chairs. I'm the co-chair of that with the Hillsborough County Bar. So we did some events this year. We helped out with the animal rescue event, To the Rescue. It was a festival. I helped out with Elves for Elders, which is where we purchased items for the elderly during Christmas time holidays. We did Adopt a Veteran, which I was the chair of. We're veterans in a group home, and they make wish lists of what they want, and then we found law firms and lawyers that fulfilled those wish lists. And it was really eye-opening because a lot of these people, they were asking for very basic necessities: soap, shampoo.
Talking about the veterans.
Yeah, the veterans. They're asking for very basic. I'm sorry, did I say elderly? The veterans. Well, the elderly not as much, but the veterans in the group home. Yeah, a lot of them. It's socks and can I get a couple of T-shirts? I mean, it was very, very basic. So these people really needed it. They really appreciated it. So we did that, and we delivered also. We went and delivered them to the group home and to people. So I do a lot of volunteer work, and I know that I know my opponent has said that he doesn't do a lot of community work because he's a judge, and my response to that was that I don't care. If I'm elected to the bench, I know there are certain things I can't do anymore. I'm not allowed to serve on a board of directors for a nonprofit law firm. That's kind of a no-no. I can't be a magistrate or a hearing officer because that's making rulings. But, there's a lot of things I can still do. I mean, I used to work with Habitat for Humanity. I can still do animal rescue. There's a lot of things. And I definitely plan for pro se defendants to help those people try and find the resources. Make sure that if they don't have an attorney, they know there's a Bay Area. They know there's forms clinics they can go to get help with what they need. I think that's something that's missing in our system. Is there's just it's a lot of lack of information where people can either get an attorney or at least get informed enough that they don't make a mistake and they know and they can get help doing what they need to do.
I'm going to ask.
Kind of a big platform.
Okay, so just a couple more minutes because I have Judge Scionti waiting, and
Okay,
I have also Greg Green. So yeah, go real quick because we're time is running out, and I got to get on at 6 with Tammy Schamberger.
No, I want to do this with Judge Scionti anyway because I'm going to ask him about community service because I believe he has a lot of community service. But Wendy, how many times have you canceled lunch with me because you're down at the forms clinic helping someone? You're filling out their family law forms to help them get what they need, and I'm sitting in the office starving, waiting for you, wasting away to nothing.
I know
She
it's not
can't
nice.
be on all the time with me.
Yeah,
You want to say
Jeanine?
hi? No? Okay.
Hey, Jeanine?
Yeah?
Jeanine? Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, but I mean, that's.
No, I know.
And
It is.
Yeah.
But she doesn't talk about that. She goes down there all the time. And once you're volunteering down there and people are in need, she gets stuck in and she stays a lot longer than she plans to.
Yeah, and I got a call from Organized Florida this morning because they're concerned with some of their members because of the foreclosures and evictions. They're worried once the moratorium lifts that there's going to be a lot of problems. So they were looking around. They called me. They're like, look, we're trying to put together a seminar so people know what their options are. We're trying to find attorneys to take cases. I'm like, great, I'll take a case. Call this attorney, call that attorney. We need to get Bay Area. We need to get Tampa Bay Bankruptcy Bar involved. We got to get the Hillsborough County Bar involved. So we're working on a whole thing now to try and get for people who are going to end up in eviction to let them know, or for people who are now foreclosure so that they know what their options are and hopefully try and get them attorneys that would do a case for free, try and get them a loan modification and get them straightened out. So
Okay,
that's
well,
my current community service
Gotcha.
project.
Okay, could you tell the persons that are viewing now and will be viewing where can they learn more about you? Your
Yes.
website?
Yes, I have a Facebook page. It is Wendy DePaul, the number 4 judge, which says I'm just trying to be cool for the kids. But and my website is www.wendydepaullforjudge as well. So either one of those. If you want to look for my qualifications, go to the website. If you're looking for more recent things that I'm doing, you probably look at the Facebook page because we do update that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for jumping on. Good luck. And I'm sure, based on what I'm hearing, is that Wendy, you are going to be a joy, inside
Ah,
joke, on the bench.
What's that?
You're going to be a joy on the
I'm so
bench.
sorry.
it's a play on
I
your
hope
middle name.
I'm on the bench. From your lips to
Yeah.
God's ears, I hope I'm on the bench.
Okay. All right. Well,
Well,
you have a good night, Wendy. Good luck.
thank
I'm
you so
gonna
much
bring
for
on.
having me on. Take care.
Yes, for sure. Okay. And we have now the Honorable Judge Scionti. Thank you for coming on. You're gonna have a couple of minutes to address the voters. And how are you, Your Honor?
I'm doing very well. Just finished Veterans Treatment Court today, and thank you, Haiti, for inviting me to participate in your program once again. It's a pleasure.
So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I know that early voting started August 3rd, and so people are going out voting. It's a wonderful thing. Thank God that we live in a country where we can vote in our judges, our local judges. I know the federal judges are appointed, but locally here in the state, very important what you do, sir. And just give us a little brief synopsis of the wonderful things that you've done. I've been asked. People call me. I committed the other day to say I'm not gonna endorse no one because I don't want. There's so much questions. Is this endorsement, a legit endorsement? Is it? They question it, but you know what? People have been texting me, emailing me, asking me, "What are your recommendations?" Because of my involvement, and because as a result of what I do, I'm getting familiarized with a lot of the candidates, and I've told them to vote for you, Your Honor, because of the interview the other day. Listen, what you do is incredible. What you do to lose you on the bench would be saddening. So I'm telling people to vote for you.
Haiti, thank you so much. The fact that you have a forum where voters feel comfortable uh, seeking your opinion, seeking the opinion of a colleague of mine, Jeanine, seeking the opinion of other members of the bar or members of our community that stay informed is critical. Uh, Judicial races, whether I'm hoping to be retained by the voters or whether other candidates who are seeking to become judges is so vital to our community and to our state. Making sure that these voters are informed and make informed decisions when they go to the poll is what's most important for all of us collectively. For me individually, I certainly uh, serve my community. I have for the last 25 plus years. In fact, I have served alongside Jeanine, who is one of your guests here tonight. She and I have been in the proverbial trenches in the courtroom, and to have the support of you and to have the support of so many others uh, is it's critical because you're doing your homework, and it's my hope that other members of our community will do the research, find out what our experiences are, find out who is putting their trust and faith behind a candidate or behind my candidacy. And I think the experience, the compassion, the patience, the temperament, those will all bear out uh, at election time. I served 20 years in the military, now in my 21st year, fighting and defending for our Constitution and that right to vote. I'm just hoping that our community and the voters will actually exercise the right that I fight to defend. Today was a Veterans Treatment Court day, and there were veterans who are struggling every day, but it's just very emblematic of a soldier, a service member who has broken, coming back from service. And it's through this court that we're able to help renew their spirit and get them on to a better path.
Tell the listeners where can they find out more about you as they vet and find out who they should cast their vote for.
Well, certainly they can come visit the www.judgeshanti.com website. But I would encourage your voters to seek out the League of Women Voters and who they have endorsed. Uh, there are so many different organizations, local bar associations that have conducted forums, that have issued their support. The Tampa Bay Times is a wonderful resource. They conduct a thorough assessment of candidates. The Sentinel Bulletin does their own vetting, the La Gazzetta. These are local newspapers, regional newspapers. We were at a forum last night, in fact, where voters attended, asked very insightful questions, and we were able to give our responses so that they could feel comfortable who they were voting for. But I just would encourage the voters to look to my experiences, ask friends, ask members of the bar, attorneys. We are all shepherds of our legal profession. They have a vested interest on making sure that our judiciary is represented by experienced, fair-minded, common sense, even-tempered judges, and it's with their support that I hope to get reelected.
And all those publications that you mentioned, they have endorsed you. Tampa Bay Times, like I said, Florida Sentinel, those, like as you said, are all local publications.
They have.
Legal Women Voters.
I've received I'm very proud of having received the endorsements or the recommendations of not only organizations and newspapers, but of my colleagues. You know, Miss Cohen, she was she was working with the public defender's office, and I was a prosecutor. And quite frankly, and she knows how I feel, she made me a better prosecutor when I was, young, a young attorney, trying to figure it out, trying to find my own path, figuring out what was reasonable. It was through my work with my colleagues that I was able to, 25 years later, be more fair-minded. And I will let Jeanine tell you about what I was like when I was a prosecutor. But,
and she's gonna have a couple of minutes. I'm gonna let her do that. We gotta wrap up. I have Greg Green waiting. Gary Dolgen just sent a text asking to also be given a couple of minutes. I want to be fair to everyone, but I don't want to run late for my 6 o'clock. But it was awesome having you back on. You can come back on again. I'm gonna allow all. Hold on, Jeanine. I'm gonna allow all candidates until August 16th early voting, and you can jump back on, Your Honor.
Can I ask him a question very quickly?
Quickly, yes.
Judge Scionti, outside of court, do you participate in any type of community service?
Through our veterans organizations, as a combat veteran, yeah, there are numerous organizations that I devote time to. It's all veteran-based, of course, and as a soldier, because I'm still serving in the United States Army. So outside of court, I have to balance my responsibilities to the United States Army. That takes me, I'm a commander. But in between my military service and in between my judicial service, I provide volunteer service through to our veterans. So thank you, Jeanine. Great question. We always find opportunities to serve.
Okay.
Greg Green. So thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great evening.
Bye, Judge Scionti.
Now we have judicial candidate Greg Green. How are you?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me.
Always.
I'm hot and sweaty. That's how I am.
And tired.
That's the case.
Yes.
Where were you all day?
All day at Bloomingdale. Took a little lunch break. I actually have a good presence in most of the polls. I encourage anyone to go down to Jan Platt if you want to really learn more about me, because all the girls that I coach from Robinson High School are out there. A bunch of former players are coming. We actually have one traveling from Orlando tonight to come and hold signs tomorrow. So you can get the lowdown on exactly what kind of coach I am if you go over to Jan Platt and talk to the girls over there.
So is that a polling place?
Yeah. Yes, it's a library in South Tampa, right off of Manhattan.
Okay, so you have a good number of team members that are there. And so you'd like the voters to be able to go out there and engage them, to ask about you. And yes, great. So anyways, listen, your opponent has asked, one of your opponents, I think that's a three-way race, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so he's asked to come on and you know what? Fairness is an ideal, a value that I hold very strong to. So I'm going to give him a couple of minutes right before I sign off to bring in Tammy Schamberger. The discussion at 6 o'clock for Florida viewers, you judge viewers, please come on. We're going to have a discussion on yesterday's Hillsborough County School Board decision about continuing e-learning when the school starts for some weeks before.
Can I ask Greg a question?
Absolutely. Yeah, let me bring you back on, Jeanine. Yes.
Hey, Greg. So I know you've actually run for office before. How do you find this candidacy different, this race different, given the COVID-19 than previous elections?
Oh, I think you just hit on it. It's COVID. So I've only run on one other time. I ran in 2018. I've actually won a judicial election. I won the primary, so just fell short in the general. But the biggest difference is COVID. We cannot get out and meet people like sort of is the grassroots. And I feel like the normal traditional way to campaign is to go to events, meet people, let them get to know you, especially in judicial races. We can only say so much. So really getting out, getting to meet the public is one of the best ways to let them know who you are as a lawyer, let them know who you are as a person. And COVID has really impacted that. I was actually at my first live event with Judge Scionti last night since March. It's the first time that we've been anywhere. So that's been the biggest difference.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on, Greg. You're welcome to come on between all candidates. All candidates.
Sure.
I'm not playing favorites. People are asking me who I would recommend to be voted on, and I've recommended you, sir.
Thank you.
But we have to have fairness, and I'm gonna pick a person. So I don't play neutral. I don't care. I'm not gonna run for office. I don't need political support or want supporter to be. I'm gonna pick a side type of woman. So when they're asking me, I'm asking for them to vote for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. You're welcome here
Absolutely.
between now and August 16th. Early voting.
All
We're
right.
opening this up, and then we're gonna have one of your opponents in the race,
have a
Gary
great
Dolgen.
night, guys.
You too,
Have a good night.
Mr. Dolgen. How you doing?
We're doing wonderful. We're here at Jan Platt Library with my 85-year-old mother, retired teacher, Dr. Ann Dolgen,
Ooh.
God bless you, ma'am.
and my 16-year-old son, Ari.
Hello, Ari.
We had an interesting thing today because we met one of our opponents in person for the first time, Scott Bonavita, and his 16-year-old son. And it was just nice that, father and sons were campaigning together today. And it was nice that we both had a son who was the same age.
I had Bonavita on. I had Bonavita on not too long ago. Wonderful gentleman. Very, very nice gentleman. I didn't know anything about him before I spoke to him, but what an incredible young man he sounds like.
In my regards to my other opponent, Greg Green, as well, we've had many cases with each other, and we've always worked together well. And may the best man win.
You know what, I like that, Gary. Yeah, that's very classy. Go ahead, address. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes. I'm running late for the 6 o'clock. That's fine. I want to give you a couple of minutes. Go ahead and appeal to the voters. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm gonna give that the minutes for you to tell them where they can look for more information about you, your website. I'll go ahead and I'll post it so that they can go and have no trouble finding more information about you, and just sell why you should be the next circuit judge that the voters
Yes.
cast a vote for.
And hello to Jeanine Cohen also. We have a friend in common, Ginger Williams.
Who I talk
So,
about you with quite a bit.
Yes. Excellent massage therapist. In any event, people often ask, why are you the most qualified person in the race? And what I tell them is, I have been practicing law 30 years, longer than either of my opponents. I'm the only candidate in the race who's achieved board certification. And I know both of you as lawyers know that only 7% of the lawyers in the state of Florida have achieved that. I'm a board certified expert in marital and family law. I'm the only candidate who served the state of Florida as both a prosecutor and a public defender. I'm the only candidate who's a Supreme Court certified family mediator. I'm the author of Chapter 6 in Florida's Dissolution of Marriage CLE book. I've been doing that for 16 years. Judges and lawyers rely on that across the state. And I've run my own successful practice for 27 years, longer than either of my opponents have been practicing law. And I've been designated as a super lawyer, which only 5% of the lawyers in the state of Florida have received that distinction. So, it's all three of us are good guys, but I like to give, my reasons as to why I'm the most qualified candidate in the race.
Gary, what do you do for community service to give back to the community?
Well, several things. Number one, what I'm very proud of is I have been a volunteer for Bay Area Legal Services for many years, where I have mentored um, lawyers who don't practice in the area of family law. Because, as you know, we have a huge need for pro bono representation, and there's a lot of lawyers who want to give, but if they haven't practiced family law, they need someone to be able to guide them. So what I do is I go to lunch with them. Bay Area, they call Bay Area. Bay Area sets them up with me. I'll go to lunch with them. I'll go over their cases with them, and I basically will tutor them on their case so that they're able to effectively represent their clients. I've enjoyed in the past with the Child Abuse Council um, giving free legal advice to dads who have had their visitation rights taken away. I've enjoyed being for the Florida Bar, a volunteer fee arbitrator. The Florida Bar has a free program for consumers. If they have a dispute with their lawyer regarding the fee, everybody agrees to have an arbitrator appointed and go by that arbitrator's decision. So I've arbitrated cases for the Florida Bar. I've been a member of Downtown Rotary for the past 10 years. I'm a Paul Harris Fellow. And one of my favorite things about that is serving on the College Scholarship Committee, where we judge who is most deserving to get a scholarship. So those are some of the, and I've been past president of Campus Tiger Bay Club, as well as vice president and on the board and a member since 2004. So those are some of my favorite, most rewarding things that I'm involved in the community.
Okay, so Gary, go ahead and give me your website.
My website is garydolgen.com, and everyone can go there and learn some more about me. I'm especially proud if you go on my website, see my former client Tara's story.
Is that correct?
Which, I'm sorry.
GaryDolgen.com. She put up your website. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. And on my website, one of the things I'm proud about is my former client Tara. Her young girls were kidnapped by her suicidal husband, and we were able to get her kids back safely for her. Unfortunately, her husband, after stalking her and abusing her, did take his life on her birthday, his last act of domestic violence against her. But she has successfully raised her girls. They are honors graduates from the University of Florida, and she is a vice president for a Fortune 500 company now. And I am honored that she is out campaigning for me. Has done a television commercial for me, and it's one of the most rewarding things that I've been able to do as a lawyer is to help clients like her. And as a judge, I will have the experience, just as the judge in Tara's case did, to know when lives are in danger, to put that file on the top of your desk. And we had an excellent judge in that case. And my promise to the citizens of Hillsborough County is to be that excellent judge when another Tara's case comes along.
Okay, well, I've run out of time, Gary. You're welcome to come on again any day between now and the remainder of early voting. You can jump back on.
I appreciate it, and I'll be happy to do that. And I'll do it again. Signing off from my mother, who has more energy than people half her age, and
your
my
adorable
16-year-old
son, who I met the other night at the Hobnob.
Well,
Okay.
That's my older son. Yes,
the older son.
they're both
This one's
adorable.
wearing a
They're
mask.
both adorable.
All right. Well, good
Thank
night
you
to
very
both
much.
of you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good night to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm late for my
Good
other
night. Thank
broadcast.
you.
Good night, Jeanine.